Hedera Hbar. So this is what you need to know about the 4.86 billion allocation that just came out, I think roughly around about 1 or 2 weeks ago. And could we potentially be seeing other crypto players join the Hedera Global Governing Council? We're going to take a look at some of these questions and have a look at the answers to them. Also, we do have Hedera being featured in a global protocol report, which we're going to check out for 2024. Bank Social Token has been doing some numbers lately in the past week. We're going to take a look at saucerswap and the TVL, as well as some other bits and pieces, and of course the price action for HBAR coin today. So all I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So we have an interview over here from the HBAR Bull, and it is with Rob Ellum. I think he has addressed some of these questions quite clearly, and I have actually picked out some of these short clips I'm going to play you because I think that this is very interesting. Now, the first clip that I'm going to play you is going to be talking about that 4.86 billion allocation and who essentially has control over that.
Plus, example to do the job, and then the funding is released on the basis of that agreement. So it is true to say that 4+ billion HBAR have been allocated to the foundations. That's the vote that's just been taken, and the allocation that's been made. The HBAR themselves are not released into circulating supply. That will happen over the course of the next 2-3 years, however long it takes to distribute those HBAR. And they are specifically allocated for ecosystem development. So the foundation, as we know, provides grant funding to develop the ecosystem, to build the HBAR economy, to provide grant funding to projects. THA, the Hashgraph Association, runs the Hashgraph Innovation Program. It's announced that it's building a ventures studio. It runs the enterprise program. So all of these are project support in a different way to foundation project support. The DOT Science Foundation has its own remit, it does its own thing, and it receives the HBAR allocation and subsequent release for doing what it is doing on behalf of the entire ecosystem. So, it sounded like a big chunk of treasury, but if you think about it, it's doing a lot of work, right? That is being put to work by the foundations. It's being force multiplied in certain aspects, and it's over a long period of time. So we can expect it to be allocated and released in an optimal way by the foundations.
And we know that this is a commitment to developing the ecosystem. In addition to this, they will also be receiving their grants within Q1 that we have for this year. And we do actually have a quote from the CFO of the Hedera Council. He says that 2023 saw the accelerated adoption of the Hedera network with more than 33 billion real-world transactions on the network, and the ecosystem partners played a key role helping applications to go to market and onboard new users. So they've reached that massive milestone of the 33 billion real-world transactions. This is absolutely crucial, and this is the reason as to why we are seeing this growth happening for the ecosystem. But it is also important to mention as well that it is only the board that can make these decisions to allocate the funding and not the Global Governing Council.
Last Governing Council member, given that we've just announced Hitachi last week, COFRA have been on the Governing Council about a year. For those of you who don't know, COFRA is a privately owned but huge conglomerate based out of Switzerland. They own big retail brands like C&A, but they also have billions of dollars of assets in the real estate sector, and also have sort of fund management, and they're interested in growing their renewable energy portfolio as well. So they're one of these big deals that no one's heard of. They have actually been very active on the Governing Council. Jerome Muster, who's their primary representative, I met in Singapore. He and his team had come to Singapore to be actively involved. He tells me that they are still working through their use cases, but they're they're working with the THA, they've been talking to me, we'll get them onto CorpCon very soon as well to kind of refine the ideation around use cases. But like I was just saying, it's probably a real-world asset use case. They're very keen on tokenizing the assets that they manage in a similar way to how Aberdeen have. So they're kind of talking to Aberdeen and Duncan as well, and sort of taking notes from them. And on the Guardian, the ESG and the renewable energy side as well, of huge interest as it is for most of our governing council. So just another example that just because a massive governing council member is quiet, that's just the way with corporates. They don't share everything until it's absolutely necessary.
So that's the thing when it comes to many of these global governing council members. Even though they have things in the works or behind the scenes, we as HBAR holders or the community in general, the public, are not going to be known what they will be doing until they are able to make that official announcement. And sometimes they are bound to that as well. And so it may take longer for them to come out, but it doesn't mean like as if they're not working. I mean, he has mentioned that COFRA are a big player and they are active in many fields such as retail, real estate, renewable energy, asset management, and also private equity as well. I'm just going to play you one more clip from this video that I think is very important, and then we're going to take a look at a recent report in 2024 where Hedera's technology was mentioned.
Do you expect any other cryptocurrency to integrate the governing council, like Link? So Chainlink being a representative on the Hedera governing council. Do you think we're going to see other crypto players join the Hedera governing council, Rob?
I think I wouldn't rule anything out. I think by the question that says other cryptocurrencies integrating the governing council, I think what Eduardo means is, will we see other Web3 players on the governing council? And I think that's certain. In fact, we have a bit of a gap on the governing council for hardcore Web3 players. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to mean other networks. I think we'll probably see a lot more relationships through the DREC Alliance and maybe even the DLT Science Foundation. Those ties to other networks will form over time. The governing council itself, which is its purpose is to govern the network, govern the Hedera network, will have other Web3 participants and governing council members for sure. Whether they're other cryptocurrency networks is I think probably unlikely, but the alliances will form as well. So I think the grown-up networks will start playing far better together as the infrastructures mature.
And he's right in saying that with the Decentralized Recovery Alliance, of course, we have Algorand. They are working with Hedera to be able to produce that. In addition to this, we also saw at Davos 2024, Lehman Bird was speaking with Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO of Ripple. And so I think we do have two major big players over here. With Hedera, we have both Ripple and Algorand. And so that's one of the things that I'd keep an eye on when it comes to the crypto space that we're seeing with these partners. And from Hedera, we have over here special thanks to Crypto Oasis, Enactor Ventures, and DLT Science for featuring Hedera in their recently published Global Protocol Report 2024, which is a comprehensive analysis of Web3 protocols and the DLT industry as a whole. So I've actually got the report over here, and I want to show you where Hedera is mentioned. So of course we have the nice stuff talking about what Hedera Hashgraph is. But you'll see over here what stands out. It says, although younger than some other blockchain platforms, Hedera has rapidly matured, evidenced by its extensive real-world applications. Keep this in mind, and increasing transaction volumes. Two really big important players that we have. So obviously we need the real-world use cases because that is how you're able to bring it to life. And it also shows credibility in terms of the transaction volumes that is on the Hedera Manit. That is something that is real and that has been recorded and verified. We have over here that Hedera has fostered collaborations with numerous organizations, resulting in its integration into diverse industries, including finance, healthcare, and supply chains. I mean, we have seen a diverse range in terms of the Global Governing Council. We have the members such as Boeing all the way to Dell, and we also have asset managers such as Aberdeen. Organizations have utilized Hedera for purposes like fraud mitigation, supply chain transparency, and secure data sharing, suggesting a growing utility for the platform. And we know in terms of the supply chain as well that it is very extensive and there can be a lot of problems. And in terms of the environment too, I think that is a very big one in terms of the carbon markets. Hedera offers as well a wealth of resources for developers, including Java Enterprises SDKs, making it easier to build on the platform. And this is the gold right here, making it easier to build on the platform. This is a reason as to why we are seeing so many of these decentralized apps being built on the Hedera network. You know, we have saucerswap, we have Jam, we've also got Karate Combat, we've got Kabila. All of these being built on the Hedera network. This is what we like to see. This is the use cases that we have, and this is what we have under our belt whenever anybody questions the Hedera network. In summary, Hedera Hashgraph presents itself as a scalable, secure, and sustainable platform with a distinctive governance structure, aiming to address the challenges faced by earlier blockchain technologies. It's very important when it comes to the original blockchain technologies. It had nowhere near the same amount of importance when it came to the environment and also to do with the security and the scale as well that it can do. I mean, the original blockchain technologies were in the earlier stages, but it just goes to show that Hedera Hashgraph is setting itself apart. And we also have some very useful metrics that you can see in terms of the finality time, the capacity for the transaction per second, as well as the average fees that we have. And we also have the tokenomics as well. So I really like that. It's on page 56 if you did want to take a read of this report. So the price action for HBAR coin, we are currently trading at 0.07283. We are down by 1.99% on the 1-day chart. For the 24-hour volume, we are up by 17.82%. And we are trading at $32 million. So in the earlier hours of the morning, we were trading at 0.07358. So we've just come down now to the low range of the 7 cents. For the dip that we took today, we were trading at 0.07152. On the 7-day chart, we are up ever so slightly at 0.16%. The dip that we took for the week, though, on the 23rd was to 0.06742. So we went below that 7 cent threshold. However, we were able to just recover ever so slightly. We got back to that 7 cent range, and more so, we actually got to the mid range of 7 cents to 0.07501. And the highest that we went to for the week was 0.07584. For the 1 month chart, we are down by 18.72%. We are down just like all of the other altcoins. I mean, on the 24-hour volume, we are up by 2.92%, but market cap has come down by 0.96%. And you'll see over here on the 16th where we were trading at 0.08119. Unfortunately, we're not able to hold that level. We have taken that massive dip over here, but we're just now climbing up ever so slightly. Let's see if HBAR coin can get back to that mid-range of the 7 cents before we can actually have a look to see if it can head off to 8 cents. Guys, if you want daily Hedera HBAR coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.